Today we're going to be talking about one of the greatest three-point shooters in the history of the NBA and one of the best two-way guards of all time, and my man Klay Thompson. So I want to welcome you to the channel, Dreamerspro. Let's go. So Klay Thompson was actually drafted in 2011 by the Golden State Warriors. That's where he started his career. Since then, he's gone on to be a 5-time All-Star, 3-time NBA champion, three-point contest winner in 2016. He won the three-point contest. He's made it to all defensive NBA teams. And now he's regarded as one of the best two guards in probably the last 10 years to come out of the NBA. So today we're going to be talking about what makes Klay Thompson such a great basketball player. Now, you have to think about it. Klay Thompson holds the record for having the second most three-pointers in an NBA season, with over 385 three-point shots made in one single season. And of course, he's at number one is his teammate, the other Splash brother, Stephen Curry, at number one, over 470 three-pointers made in a single season. It's just insane to think about it. But that's how good Klay Thompson is. So when people talk about some of the greatest shooters of all time, certainly the greatest three-point shooters of all time, you definitely have to mention Klay Thompson's name up there, one of the greatest shooters in history. So what makes Klay Thompson so great as a basketball player? All right, let's just talk about it. Obviously, his mechanics as a shooter is second to none. I mean, literally second to none, maybe right behind Stephen Curry. But it's the way he shoots and releases the ball. His form, a lot of people say, if you watch a lot of basketball commentators saying he has some of the best shooting mechanics in the history of the NBA. His release, his catch, the way he sets his feet, how high, the point of release in his shot is always pure. And Klay Thompson, all he needs is just like a split second of daylight, and he's gonna swish it. That's how good he is. So he puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defenses of opposing teams that he plays against. Why? Because you always have to stay stuck to his body. Think about how he was shooting his shots in the NBA Finals just his NBA Finals, how quick his release is. I mean, the minute you gave him daylight, you almost knew it was going to be automatic. And that's why he was able to score over 37 points in a single NBA game in one quarter. He holds the record for most points scored in a quarter. Now, let me just say, a lot of that has to do with many things. It doesn't mean that Klay Thompson is the greatest scorer of all time. Why is that? You may say, well, he scored 37 points in a quarter, so that must make him the greatest scorer of all time. No, it doesn't. Why? Because you have to think about who is he playing, who's on the floor with him. When you have people like Stephen Curry and other knockdown shooters on the floor, it creates spacing for you. If he was the focal point of the offense and the primary weapon of the Golden State Warriors, then you got me sold. But when you have teammates like Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry on the floor with you with that type of spacing, obviously you can, if you're a good enough shooter and you get hot quick enough, obviously you'll be able to put up points like that. But if it was just, for example, Kevin Durant that did that on his own and he's the main focal point of a team, then it's two completely different things. But nevertheless, it doesn't take away from the greatness of Klay Thompson. Let's talk about defense. He's a great two-way player. Klay Thompson actually plays defense. He knows how to guard the other team's opposing player. He'll play them man up. He'll play them one-on-one and defend them. So it makes him a very versatile player on the floor, because then in late game situations, he becomes a threat to you. He becomes a threat to opposing teams, not only on offense, but he can help neutralize their best players on defense, what really sets him apart. Now, Stephen Curry doesn't play defense at the level that Klay Thompson does, and some of that has to do with his size, etc. But then again, it's not an excuse, because Patrick Beverley is a fantastic defensive player, and he plays the point guard as well. So a lot of it has to do with desire and all of that, and that's why a lot of people call Klay Thompson, probably the ultimate warrior. You saw what happened in the finals when he got injured. The next game he was out there, he wanted to play. Even when he tore his ACL, he was still pissed off at the fact that he couldn't get out there and really play with his team and help them to try to win the NBA championship. So Klay Thompson definitely is going to go down. Obviously, he's going to go down as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Number one, because he's won. Number two, he has the right attitude to basketball. Number three, because of his three-point statistics that he's put up in his career. So there's so many things that are working in his favor, and the fact that he's a lifer. Seems like he wants to play for the Golden State Warriors, probably for his whole career, which is a really good thing, and it's refreshing because he wants to earn his legacy there. So I really like Klay Thompson a lot as a basketball player. I like the way he carries himself. He doesn't have a lot of drama. You don't hear much about him. He just goes about his job of giving it to you on the court every single night. So that's why we wanted to highlight a great basketball player in Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors. Now, be sure to subscribe to the Dreamerspro YouTube channel, and for more in-depth analysis on sports and other events around the sporting world, make sure you follow us on our Dreamerspro Podcast on Spotify and iTunes. Until the next episode, peace.